Aloha. Thank you, everybody, for having us this evening. And, we appreciate each and every one of you taking time away from your busy schedules to come and engage with our county administration, Mayor Alameda's administration. So, like I always say, I know you didn't come here to hear me talk. So what I'll do is I'll introduce Mayor Alameda at this time, and we can go from there. So, Mayor Alameda.
All right, thank you. Thank you. It is such an honor to be here. Last time I was in this room, I was campaigning, and we had a good talk story. And so here we are. And so, so all of those who voted for me, thank you so much. If not, that's okay. We're in it together now. You ain't got a choice. But we're going to work real hard for you as hard as we can. And, we got 4 years to prove ourselves. If we deserve another 4, that's up to you folks. But we're a really, really good team. I'm so impressed with our team and the way they've bonded together in the last 4.5 months, almost 5 months. So I know some of you, I know from different circles. And yes, it is true. My name's Kea'au Alameda, born and raised Big Island. My parents from Keaʻau, moved up Waikōloa, kind of Hilo boy, but get family everywhere, including Volcano. And so everywhere matters to me. And that's why our campaign has been very much, as much geographic equity as possible. So I put together a really good team. Bill Berhante, he introduced himself. He's my managing director. He worked for 8 mayors. Under the Roth administration, he was HR. He left before, he was in it for 2 years, then he went to private practice. I brought him back because his expertise is invaluable. He's, like I said, 8 mayors, planning, institutional knowledge. He also worked corp counsel as an attorney, realtor. I'm a psychologist, so, my skill set is bringing people together, as family therapists and, worked in the schools. And so, I'm an educator pretty much. So I need to balance off my skill set. Bill's a great balance. The other balance I got is my deputy managing director, and that's Merrick Nishimoto. He's an engineer. And he lives on the Kona side. So to me, it's all about the team, right? My job is to connect the dots, make sure that we're addressing the needs from each community, talk to my directors, make sure that they feel supported, make sure that they get the resources to do their job, and then have goals and objectives, and then keep pushing forward and get as much as we can done as fast as we can. And that's how we've been moving. So I also have a mayor's office. So you got Tracy, he's behind the camera there. Every Friday we post updates. So please check out our Instagram, Facebook. Every Friday, get an update on what we did for the week. I pick like 6 or 7 things, whatever I can fit in 3 minutes. Because after that, Instagram will kick me off. And we fit a lot in 3 minutes. So every Friday, know what the county is doing, super transparent, check it out. Okay, we've done, since I started, every Friday we've done an update. And then I got my Tom Callis, he's our, there he is, yeah. So Tom's our part of our communications team, our public information officer. And then we got Damon Williams, he's in the front desk. If you ever come to visit me on a one-on-one in my office, you'll see Damon in the front. Malia Lewis, she's our sister city in our office, making sure that we connect with other cities, seeing what best practices are done in other countries even, and then bringing that to our understanding. We also got Cliff. So Cliff's in the mayor's office. He oversees, so we have pods. So get 20 departments, 20 of them, okay? And I wanted to make sure that my executive assistants, that everybody know what they're doing. So one pod is public safety. So fire, police, civil defense, prosecutor's office, animal control, liquor control. That's public safety. Cliff was a former police officer and worked at corp counsel as an investigator. So he oversees, not oversees, I'll say more liaison. Because myself and Bill, we cannot be everywhere, right? So Cliff helps us out and is the content expert almost, if you will, for that pod. The next pod is what Merrick oversees, the engineer, right? So guess what pod he oversees? Infrastructure, right? So building department, right? Permits, environmental management, water, Okay, that's Merrick. And so if you can't get in touch with me and you have a question for Public Works, then you can get in touch with Merrick, and if not, the director. And then we have our Human Services pod, and that's all like Office of Aging. They provide services, right? Transportation, housing, that's all services. Okay, and Parks and Recreation, services. So, and overseeing that pod is Erin. She's in the front. She checked you in. She's by trade, she's a pharmacist. So I brought her from the health center, kind of like my health czar, and very conscientious of health. So she works with that pod. And then the last pod is what we call support services. These departments support other departments. So IT, Corp Counsel, the attorneys, they support other departments. Finance, they support other departments. Who else we got? Support other departments. Oscar supports other departments. Research and Development supports other departments. So these 4 pods, 4 liaisons, and then the mayor's office. And so we're very structured in that way. And I got to tell you, I feel like we've got more done in 4 months than some administrations has done in 4 years. True story. Yeah. And that's because I feel that's because we organize. We get chemistry. They like each other. If not, they're real good pretenders. Cause, we get along. Our Public Works acting director has no problem calling our Parks and Recreation director. Our water guy has no problem calling our fire chief. Everybody gets along. And when you get on a team, they get along, things get done. So speaking of that, I'll have them introduce themselves, and then we can go from there. So before that, though, here's some rules. So first rule is you can ask any question you like. You can ask, right? But you cannot ask your second question until everybody gets a chance for ask their first question. That's fair, right? Well, make sure everybody gets a chance. Okay, and then also we'll go for an hour in a group format like this, and then we'll spend the last half hour for you just go pick anybody's brain you like, right? Maybe you like talk one-on-one with Clayton, the P&R guy. Maybe you like talk one-on-one with Talmadge, our civil defense guy. Right? He's smart. He's not gonna make eye contact. Okay. So, whatever it is, we get our finance person here too. Maybe like talk about the budget one-on-one. So that's how we're gonna structure it, and it's been super effective. This is our 13th town hall. All right, we're making our way on every part of this island. Next week, or in 2 weeks, we're going to Pohoa. That'll be our 14th town hall, and then we're going to end in Lapoihoi. Because we went to Pepeʻekeo, which is close to Lapoihoi, but not close enough, they said. So, hey, Lapoihoi, we special. We got to come to Lapoihoi. Okay, we're going to go Lapoihoi. All right, so that's how we're going to play them out. And then we're going to go, so they're going to introduce themselves, and then we'll go with questions, and then we just go from there, and we hit it to an hour, and then boom, we spend the last half hour talking stories, hit up any one of them, and then we'll finish in an hour and a half. All right, so go, take it away, Craig.
So, hello, Craig Kawaguchi, Deputy Director, Environmental Management.
Hi everyone, Clayton Honma, Director, Parks and Recreation.
Melissa Samura, Deputy Director, Parks and Recreation.
Hi, good evening. Zach Burgum, Acting Administrator for Mass Transit Agency.
Hi, good evening. Keith Okamoto, Department of Water Supply.
Hi, Dennis Lin, Deputy Director for Department of Research and Development.
Aloha, Talmadge Magno, Civil Defense Administrator.
Good evening, Wes Segawa, Director of Environmental Management.
Good evening, Neil Azevedo, Acting Director for Public Works.
Hi, I'm Sharice Emmons, Area 2 Specialist for Animal Control and Protection. I'm filling in for Matt Runnels, our Administrator.
Good evening again, Bill Brahanti, Managing Director.
Aloha, Barrick Nishimoto, Deputy Managing Director, operating out of the West Hawaii Civic Center.
Aloha, my name is Jeff Darrow, and I'm with the Planning Department, and with me this evening is our Deputy Planning Director, Michelle On.
Good evening, I'm Reed Mahon. I'm your Deputy Police Chief.
Good evening, all. Laura Ocasio, Office of Sustainability, Climate, Equity, and Resilience.
Kazuo Todd, Fire Chief.
Aloha, Kea'au Costa, Housing Administrator, and our Assistant Housing Administrator, Keiko Mercado, in the back.
Hi, good evening, Renee Schoen, Corporation Counsel.
Good evening, Diane Nakagawa, Finance Department. We also have Malia Kekai, our Deputy Finance Director.
All right, and here we are, standing room only. So I see our county council representative. Oh, Kavika is our water guy, assistant water guy. Oh, like hear the voice.
Why, thank you. Kavika Uehara, Deputy Water Department.
Oh, everybody, Michelle Galimba in the house. Thank you, Michelle. Let's find that chair right there. You can sit right down. There you go. No way. Russell Kokobunda, the legendary Russell is in the house. Thank you, Uncle. Right on, Ba. Thanks for being here. All right. So we have folks in the back too. So I'll make sure when we ask questions, I'll look here too. So yeah, I mean, wherever you can sit is fine. If you like sit on the ground, that's okay too. But I think we maxed out on the chairs already. So all right. Okay. So how we do it? We'll go very in order. So I'll start from here, and then we go down here, and then we'll come back. And I think we can go at least two times before we hit the hour. Okay, so we start from here, is ask. So here's how you can ask a question. Because what I realize, this is the 14th time, right? We get experience now. So what I realize is some of you, or most of you, you don't really have questions. You just have statements. Okay? You just came here for share your opinion. Right? You get something for say, you know the kind. Right? And so that's okay too, right? We want to hear it. But if you have a genuine question and because you don't know the answer, to me a genuine question is that you really don't know the answer. Now that's a question. Sometimes people ask questions you already know the answer. You're trying to, it's like one tricking game or something. We don't like play games tonight, right? Just either you get on a statement or you get on genuine question. All right, here we go. Anybody on this side? You can raise your hand. Like I said, we're going to come back. I can start from here too even. Yes, ma'am, go. And I'll repeat the question. Go.
I'd like to know what you have plans for supporting farmers and ranchers.
Okay, so the question is, what do we have plans to support farmers and ranchers? I'll start with our research and development because that's where we have special grants and stuff. So take it away.
Hi, thank you for your question. I can't see you, but.
My name's Chris.
Yeah, I'm Dennis. So I'm the Deputy Director for Research and Development. And within our department, we have different program specialists. And we have two program specialists. One is for agriculture, and one is for food systems. So for agriculture, we're more of a supportive role, trying to help farmers figure out what resources they can access in their community, whether it's connecting them with USDA or State Department of Agriculture or other types of grant opportunities as well. Within our department, we have what's called our impact grants, which if you're a nonprofit entity or you have a fiscal sponsor, you could apply for that and we can help you with some funding as well.
Yes. So that department also addresses the coconut rhinoceros beetle and such invasive species, and so some more. You want to add to that?
No, I think something that's really important is the county has started working with CTAR, the College of Tropical Agricultural and Human Resources. Yeah, so actively working with them, helping to fund extension agents for farmers and ranchers. So I think that's a really good way of county and state working together.
Yes.
Yep.
County and state working together. You cannot ask your second question until everybody gets a chance to answer the first question. Oh, this is a follow-up. Can we allow follow-ups? Okay, go. Follow-up, Chris.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you were aware that federal USDA has been cut quite a bit. And so their ability to help out farmers and ranchers has been cut also on this island.
Yeah, she said if we're aware of the federal impacts on ag, and yes, we are aware, very much so. In fact, our county councils has becoming more aware of that as well, and they're concerned as well. So, all right, we're working our way to say yes, ma'am, Alida. Hi. Alia. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we've been working on this for a while. Thank you, Michelle, for helping us with the Volcano golf course community getting an emergency escape road. It's getting really scary because the road is off of Highway 11 in Keaʻau, out for the golf course. It's cracking, and we know we're at a fault line, and we hear about it. But we do want to find out what is going on to years to work on it, and what's happening, and
Okay.
where we can answer.
So here's the question. What's the update on the volcano kind of escape road? Yeah.
Yes.
To try that, Bill. You can pass it to Michelle too after.
Okay.
Both of you guys tag team it.
We'll tag team this answer tonight. So, we have been looking at it. It's been brought to the administration's attention, and we've sat down. We looked at maps. We've actually had our emergency or public service EA go up and actually do site visits. He did a drive around, and just to get a better idea and understanding of what's involved with the golf course community and the situation. We know we had an evaluation. I think the information we got from fire was that the golf course community, Volcano Golf Course, is third on the list as far as maybe potential hazards, on the island as it relates to, a fire, situation, event. So again, we're looking at it. We're coming up with the best, plan that we can, develop, and we'll go from there. And we'll have Councilmember Galimba add on.
Oh, thanks. I guess I really just want to thank Alita and Janet for their organizational abilities. We had a great meeting there in the golf course subdivision. Hugh Ono, who was the public works director at that time, came. And basically, there's multiple ways that hazards could come at that subdivision. So in some ways, we're going to have to be tactical and depend on the fire department and on public works to respond to what the danger is. Yes, but we have mapped out some of the alternate routes, and we should continue working. And I think another part of it is getting the community organized as well, which I think we talked about, but haven't moved much since then, but we should.
Thank you, Michelle. And Neil, Mr. Azevedo is also very much aware. In fact, we sat down in our office, and he brought us maps, and he said, "Hey, what are we going to do for Volcano?" And so Neil's on it. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for asking. Oh, right there. Okay, go.
I have concerns about also with road safety, and I had addressed this in our community Facebook group, kind of two components as well as some potential solutions for it. One is how many cars are driving through in rainy conditions, misty conditions, dark conditions with no lights on. They got a car in front of them, they got a car behind them that's got the lights on, they're completely invisible. And there's also the speed limit through here makes it hard if you don't see the car until it's right on top of you. And it's a residential area. You're turning into homes, you're turning into the dump and stuff like that. A couple of the solutions that were mentioned in the group were first signage, which is a hot button issue since a lot of us don't want to have more signs. But maybe something that's similar to the speed limit signs, speed limit reduction, of course, through some of the areas. There was an accident last week right by MLE, another one right by the National Park. And I think a lot of it is the folks that are driving those cars. That's not their car, that's a rental car. They're coming to and from Kona, driving from Kona, you probably don't need your lights on. You come into Volcano, you probably do. And coming out of the National Park and everything, people aren't realizing, just not being aware of what needs to be an awareness thing. As far as potential signage, maybe working with the rental companies for cars, maybe working with the tourism authority to have more awareness out there. And that's the person to deal with it.
Thank you for that. There's concerns. I got you. Okay, we're gonna go like this. Okay, I'm here now. So Marsha has, and then I'll catch you, and we'll slowly make our way down like that. Okay, Marsha.
So since we're talking about roads, this comes from another person who couldn't be here. When you go down, when all of you, and everybody goes down again, up and down the highway from here to Hilo, to notice the condition of the road. So the comment is, could you please ask for funds from whether it's the governor, the state level, for funds to pay the section, especially from the national park. I would say, if you're gonna do it, say in increments, from the park to Mountain View, particularly between that area.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I noticed there's a lot of bumps there. Yeah. The state road, yeah? That's the highway, the main highway. Yeah.
Is that still state? From here all the way to
Neil?
Yes, we reached out to state last week. I think someone else came up to me and asked me about that too, and the road's pretty bad. So they said they'll look into it, but I'll get more information from that. More than look into it.
Gotta put pressure.
No, it's a contingency.
They always say that, yeah, the state. Yeah, look into it. You're looking too long, we're gonna tell them. Come on, man. Yeah. No, I know, we travel that all the time too, and I have the same concerns. Yeah. And we cannot keep bailing the state out. I mean, Neil has, I hate to say this, but we have paved just cause, and it's not like we get a lot of money, right? But we have helped state so many times. And I'm sick of it because I'm like, hey, you guys got to do your job. Because our resources only go so far. And you're burning our guys out. So I'm just as frustrated as you, Marsha. But thank you for saying that. Okay, wait, brother back there. Sorry, I kind of go backwards, Kathy, but I'll get you after. I'm working my way this way, but I'll come back to you. Yes, go.
More roads and safety issues.
Yeah.
It's been brought up in the village in the past. When the schools get out here, there's no real safe shoulder for the kids. And they're walking down the street.
Yeah.
They need to have, is it possible that...
Bigger shoulders, yeah?
Bigger shoulders. We don't need sidewalks, but they need a place to walk.
Yeah, we've done shoulders too. Just done shoulders in Waimea because it's the same issue. But again, is this a state road that we're trying to help? We're trying to do.
County.
It's county. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, there's our roads. Actually, what we're doing all around the schools, we're looking for safe routes. So there should be a safe route right there too. We'll look into that real soon. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good. We'll mark that down. When Neil says he's looking into it, he's not like the state. Like just translate looking into it as getting it done when Neil says, okay? Okay, I'm working my way. Wow, I get questions all over here, okay? Okay, so I'm going to start with right there, and then I'm going to work my way down, okay? And thank you for being so patient. This side, I don't know about this side, but this side, okay? Just show, okay. Okay, right behind you, and then you're next. Go.
Okay, the planning department.
Yes.
Is famous for being so, are there any current activities?
Yeah.
Hire people in?
Yeah, so like permits. Is that, yeah. So, okay, so we have 5 major issues when I came into this position, right? And those 5 issues is the 5 task force that we've created. One is animal control, right? We have animals that are out of control. Okay, so we got to fix that, and we're working really hard. I mean, it's not just cats and dogs. Big Island get goats, pigs, chickens, cows now, and once in a while horses. So animal control. The other one is permitting. So we bring in all our. In fact, we just had maybe our 4th, 5th meeting already, bringing people who are contractors who are out there who are frustrated because in their eyes, hey, time is money. The longer they take for a permit, prices go up, and it ends up the consumer gotta pay. So we are getting better at that because we meet and we track in ourselves. But nobody's better than you guys telling us if we're getting better, and people are telling us we're getting better. The other task force is cesspool conversion, to septic. Major issue. We're going. Bill and I are going to DC in about 3 weeks, and we're going to talk to the feds, because another thing I'm sick of is like these federal mandates that's not funded. Like, you're going to force us to move to septic, but you're not giving our homeowners any funds to make that happen. 2 years ago, I remember it was like $5,000. My dad's a plumber, so I'll get the scoops. He said, oh yeah, $5,000 septic. But no way, that was like 3 years ago. Then came $10,000 septic, then 15. I heard 20,000 now. Where do we just have that cash? So that's super difficult. Yeah. So we got that task force. We got an HR task force because we got 600 vacancies, and we're trying to figure out how to make. And doing a real good job. Our HR is trying to streamline the process, look at the applications, make it easier. And then the last task force is on, one more task force, housing and homelessness, yeah. So getting our homeless in homes or shelters or a transition to that. So we are addressing it. Thank you for asking. Okay, and then right there, you, ma'am, okay, go. Yeah, okay.
What is going on with the county as far as getting an arborist
Oh, good one.
for,
Who's
for
that?
the whole county?
Yeah.
It used to be, was supposed to be for, somebody was split between Public Works and Parks and Rec, and nothing happened. That was years ago.
Yeah, I wish my Micah Alameda was here. Here's our commissions, guys. There's 32 boards and commissions, and the tree, I forgot the name of it, but it's a commission that protects trees. And there's a couple arborists on there. Yeah, the AAC, yeah. So we're reactivating that commission. And so, but with regard to the arborists, county arborists, anybody? I mean, do we have an arborist position, HR?
There's been some discussions we've had in the past week or so with HR to create a position for that specific purpose, but it's still, in the planning process at this point in time.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now, we contract out, when you need an arborist. But yeah, that's part of the talk story. Okay, I'm gonna work my way down to Liana, then I'm gonna jump back up there. Okay, no, oh, you have a question? Okay, go.
Yeah, I would like to say thank you to the Department of Environmental Management for working with the subdivisions to help us get rid of all of the abandoned vehicles that are in the subdivision. We're using that service, and I'm just hoping that you can tell me that we're gonna continue with that.
Oh, wow. That's a plus for environmental management. Just what you guys did, Wesley. Hey, thanks.
That's what we do. Thank you.
Okay, so are we going to continue? Are we going to continue that service?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Craig. Yeah.
Thank my deputy over there, Craig.
Okay, thank you for saying that. Okay, we're gonna work our way. Oh, sorry, I'm going to Liana, then back to Kat, and then I gotta go back up there to James. Okay, Liana.
What can the county do to protect our native forests and residential areas? And I'd like to make a small statement. I'm not anti-housing or development. I am for protecting our native forests.
Native forests. Let's see, Jeff or Laura. Go ahead, Jeff.
So this is a tough issue. I was speaking to someone before the meeting started, and they were asking the similar question. We just received a resolution from Maui, and it had to do with what they call community forests. So we're going to be looking into that. And I had mentioned to her, there is one example that I recall where a community tried to do exactly what you're saying, and it was in Kalokomauka. And the way they did it was the council created an ordinance, but it could not apply to just private property. It had to be applied to an action that occurred. And so in that area, people would come in and rezone. So if they rezoned, this resolution was added as conditions to the rezoning, basically preserving 80% of the property. It allowed them to put a house pad and like a driveway, but the remainder was able to be preserved. So that's something we can look at. I'm gonna look at this community forest bill, and I will be forwarding it to the people here that had received my card and will email me, and I'll forward that to them. Hopefully that gives us some direction there.
Wow. I didn't know that. Thank you, Jeff. See, hey, I'm learning. I love these meetings. I'm learning too. Okay, I'm going to go back to James. Yeah, go ahead, James.
Hello, everyone. My name is James Morgan. I'm president of Volcano Community Association. And we had a concern about the general plan 2045, particularly pertaining to the rezoning from rural general to low density urban, and then the implications of the ADUs that come with that, the additional ADUs that are allowed per lot. And given Volcano's unique circumstance of small lot size and dense forest, we didn't know if there was a consideration or variance to that would, similarly so look at the environmental aspects.
Are you sure?
Okay. Your question again, or statement, what was it again, James?
I can answer that.
Oh, you
Mayor.
got it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Jeff, with planning, what happened was in the general plan, there were some changes made around the island. In Volcano, there was a major change from low-density urban to rural, and it was on all of the low-density single-family residential lots, which doesn't really make sense because the zoning is already in place in low-density urban. By placing rural over it, it doesn't do anything. There's nothing that it affects because the zoning is already in place. So the low-density urban is consistent with the single-family residential zoning. That's the only areas that were changed back. Understand that was just changed back to what it currently is. So the rural was actually a change made. The other thing regarding ADUs, the general plan doesn't really have an effect on that. It's the zoning. The single-family residential zoning that's currently in place allows for ADUs. The limitation on those will be the infrastructure, whether you have water to support an additional dwelling or whether you have wastewater to support additional dwellings.
I think the concern was about the amount of ADUs that would be allowed.
Right. Right now, the code allows up to 4 ADUs per property with some other caveats. But again, what happens is in areas where you have no sewer and you're only looking at one septic system, which is limited to 5 bedrooms, most people can only build 2 dwellings, a 2-bedroom and a 3-bedroom, right? Because it's limited.
So you're saying it's limited because of the infrastructure. So I think it's true. Isn't it also true that, and I asked my water guy, that one water meter per dwelling?
Yeah, but we don't have any.
Oh, you don't water meters?
There's no water.
So that's not a limitation. So going back to, let's talk to the experts here. Anything else, Jeff?
So this bill that was approved through council, the ADU bill, allows ADUs without having to hook up to county water. So if you have a catchment, you can do an ADU. If you have a private well, you can do an ADU. If you do rezoning, that in the code is limited. You have to be connected to county water. And that's the difficulty. Right now, for this area, most people, again, are limited that they will be able to have one septic system. So that, again, is limited to 5 bedrooms.
I see. The infrastructure limits the additional dwellings.
Thank you.
Yeah, the infrastructure limits the amount of dwellings. I got it. All right, this is good. Okay, I'm over here now. Okay, I'm going to go here and then there. All right.
So I was wondering what the county was planning to do with Honolulu area now that it's gone into foreclosure.
Okay, thank you, Kat. Bill, Punulu, you're my attorney. What we're going to...
I was going to turn it over to Corp Counsel, but we've been having meetings with the original or the current owner, who's since been foreclosed on. An order of foreclosure was issued by the circuit court last week. That means that the property itself is going to go in front of an auction for potential buyers to be able to bid on the property if they're interested in it. And, that's all the information we have at this point, and we're continued discussions with the attorney that represents the original, property owner, and we'll just go from there and we'll see what comes up. Of course, we're going to engage Corporation Counsel and pick their brain as to what's the best course of action going forward.
Yes?
I understand the Nature Conservancy and the Land Trust would be access for help with funding to purchase that property.
You know, there has been a legacy group that has reached out to us within the past month or so regarding maybe acquiring the property. But again, everything is just in the preliminary stages. We're kind of in a wait and see game as to see, you know, what really, you know, unfolds down there.
We do know from our talk story in Na'alehu, in Pahala, in Ocean View, that there's a large community that wants to keep Keaʻau in that regard. So, yeah. Okay, I'm going back this way. Okay, go.
Yes.
Yes.
My name is Connie, and I'm just going to dovetail on what Pat was talking about. Many of us know people in Keaʻau and want to see Keaʻau preserved.
Right.
My understanding is that there's a PONC fund of $2 million that was dedicated back in 2007. Do you know if that's correct?
I think that is true, yeah. So we do have that PUNC program, it's that open space program where 2% of all property taxes go to this fund, so we can purchase properties and we can keep it open, if you will. So that is true, yeah. Okay, welcome right there. Ron, and then, yeah.
Thank you for traveling up to Volcano.
For sure.
Bringing all your staff.
Yeah.
Great to see. I'm a resident of Volcano, Golf Course, and I'm going to leave Janet who has to present tomorrow. I've been there a long time, and we've been working on this access, emergency access for obviously hasn't happened yet. Could we at some point find out what sort of time frame are we looking at? I mean, I know it's not going to happen tomorrow, but
Yeah.
just to.
I mean, sure, let's sit down, because I was just informed about it 2 weeks ago when Neil came to approach me about it. So we haven't really, I was just looking at possibilities. He was sharing possibilities, but we didn't put a timeline or a project. But yeah, I got you. That tells me that it's high on your radar, so it should be high on ours.
Thank you.
Can I add to that since?
Okay, and then we'll go back.
So this has been documented back to 2006.
Okay.
Again in 2015. And as a top one of the top three solution, I mean, it was a concern.
Priorities, yeah. Okay.
To escape route from the Volcano golf course. And while I'm speaking, I'll just address Neil. One of the real concerns is the bottleneck. There's one road in and out. And that one road in is a curve, line curve, steep drop-offs, and no easement at all. And it's a real concern. There's a lot of overgrowth. Residents are taking it on themselves to cut back the vegetation to make the line curve a little less blind. That is a real tragedy for residents to be out there doing it. So I hope, as you're looking at the possibilities, that blind curve somehow is addressed as part of the potential bottleneck for people to get, residents to get out and emergency vehicles to get in. Because it's over an earth crack right there. So,
And if you wonder what Neil's looking at, he's looking at that map right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking at solving the problem as we speak, so.
Yeah, and I was told that we really appreciate Michelle. She's been involved with us. We did have a meeting in the subdivision. Over 125 people showed up. There's definitely interest and concern about this. So, thank you.
No, thank you. I'll go back there. Man.
Okay, aloha, Rebecca Melendez. So just real fast, I wanted to mention, long-range designation does change the future of the land. So I was at a meeting just last week, and it was regards to a coastal development that Jeff Darrell's approved. And he approved it with environmental information from 1989. Okay, I came over here in the mid-90s, and I know the difference of what 89 is to today. At least, well, not even 89, way from it. But anyways, this is a coastal development. Okay, there I have 655 signatures on a petition. Help Big Island resources and infrastructure stay safe for all who live here and visit. The county council members in that meeting did not. They didn't really look at the fact that I stood there and I said, I stand, at the time it was 652 signatures. The county council who approved that with Jeff Darrow It wasn't even the county council we elected. It was a volunteer, the county council volunteers. And I want to know why the volunteers are making decisions, the final decisions. And I'd like to know why Jeff Darrows is approving more development, especially on the coastline. And I gave a full-on report by NOAA Oceanic Journal about how the coastline is being is so polluted because of the development. There's also in the petition, there's an article, one of the articles, rolling power outages possible on Big Island by news. That's one of the articles in the petition. Another one is Hawaii is on the verge of a greater catastrophe, locals say, as water crisis continues. I have many articles, news articles, that prove that what I'm saying is not coming from me, it's coming from the news. I had 3 power outages in my place, in 2 weeks, 3 power outages, and yet he keeps approving it.
So you got remember one question? So you can ask 3, so what's your one question? Pick one, your favorite.
Why is he approving more development, especially, and I have asked both the county council and the Hawaii planning director directly, how much development is coming? And both of them cannot give me the answer.
Okay, I got you. So why is Jeff Darrow approving development? Jeff, would you like to tackle that one?
Specifically tourists. This is another tourist development on Leaky Drive. There's already, the infrastructure is already sorted.
Okay, same question. Okay.
This is
Yeah, this is
all right.
everybody.
Okay, here's the question. Here's your one question from the 6 that I heard. Why are you approving this certain development? Jeff, take it away.
Thank you for your question, Ms. Melendez. So, unfortunately, when you ask questions with the information, it's always half-truths. Jeff Darrow doesn't approve these projects. These projects are approved by the Hawaii County Planning Commission. Jeff Darrow does not have the authority to approve these projects. Again, Jeff Darrow does not have the authority to approve these projects. They go before the Planning Commission. They have the authority through state law to make the decision. These are volunteers from every community around the island, and they have been both vetted through the mayor and through the council. If you, as a community member, would like to participate in that, you have the ability to do that as well.
And this is why we have the 30 minutes after. So you could hit up Jeff and you guys could have a great talk story. But thank you for that. Thank you for sharing. Okay, I'm finally made it to this side. Take it away, Jonathan. What's your question? Hey, nice job, you guys.
I just want to say, I served on the AAC, or the Arborist Advisory Committee to the Mayor's Office for the last 2 administrations, and have tried repeatedly to get my name in for your administration, and the system is not working. How can I get on your committee?
You want to be a volunteer on our committee? Okay. Well, again, my committee guy is actually receiving the hokulea at this time. And so I sent him there just to split up our team. So we'll get your name, number, and we'll get in touch with you after that. Okay. All right, working my way back. Kent, you have a question? I'm working, okay. Now this lane. How about Steven? Joe, okay, go, Joe, hit it up. Hey, by the way, what is this again?
The blue lei he's wearing was given, the flower plant was given to me by Linda Ugaldi. She calls it Auntie's Panties. It's agapanthus. But the agapanthus she took out of her yard, and I stuck it in my yard. And my question is for you, Neil, only because I live on Old Volcano Road. From Pearl Street, going back towards Hilo. I've owned my property since '86. I walk on that road whenever I'm up here. I moved up here full-time in 2002. And I don't mind walking on that road. I'm grateful when people pass by and they're not going 45 or 55 miles an hour to the dead end. But I have to be honest with you because in 2012, 13, 14, 15, I was having problems with my eyes. The long and the short of it, I was coming home from rehearsal in Hilo. And then coming up on Highway 11, somebody's coming out of my road. My road is a dead end. Because of that, I had cars to my left and a car to my right, and I'm thinking, this is not chicken. But at my age, at that point in time, I was willing to plow anybody. And the only reason I didn't was because George DeCosta was sitting next to me. And he just said, slow down. And as I'm coming up and I'm seeing this, I'm feeling like really agitated because I didn't know who to call when I'd be walking on that road and people would get to the Vandercar's driveway and then they make a right beeline right out to the highway. And at that point, I decided, you know what, that's a state highway, so I can call a state. And I did. I gave them my name. I told them where I live. I said why I'm calling. I said, I need you to put something over there so nobody makes a beeline out. I even stopped to talk to them because they live right there. And the gift about being able to connect like this is when we talk story just to say, how can we handle this? So I have friends in the neighborhood who have plenty rocks. And they don't have small rocks, they have big rocks.
They don't understand what it is.
And
Get a truck there too.
yeah, the guardrail, to the right of the guardrail, there's a puka. And on the other side of that puka, get one manhole.
And the tourists come down, flying down our road, they go to that intersection, it's not an intersection, they get to the end of the road, and they drive right out.
And only because it's me who's walking over there with a dog now. And you know, the dog is a whippet and she likes to yank. And
okay, so that's something that you guys should meet after.
Yes.
Yeah, and then just break them down, all the nitty gritty, the details. Oh, what were you, I scared give you back the mic. Huh? Okay, how about you ask your question loud and then I'll just repeat it. That's the, okay, go. Oh, okay, I'm going up. Stephen, go ahead. You have a question, Stephen? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, now you said something that confused me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Infrastructure. Because it's my understanding if you have older houses like that were permitted, decades ago.
Yeah.
And you have two houses on the same TMK.
Okay.
It's on some acreage, right?
Okay.
So they're on two separate cesspools and they have two separate catchment and there's like 500 feet of forest between them.
Okay.
So if you have to upgrade to septic, I was assuming you'd have to do one for each.
One each, yeah.
But when he's saying you're only allowed one septic, how are you going to make a septic system that's
Okay, let me show you. So one TMK, two houses, two cesspools. Who'd like to answer that question, Jeff?
I can answer.
Oh, Jeff, you're the most popular in Volcano today.
No, so my apologies. I should have been clear. In the Department of Health rules, you need 10,000 square feet of land per septic system. So if you're on a larger property, yes, you can have. But the unfortunate thing is that, as the mayor had discussed earlier, there's this transition that's being placed on everybody to transition from cesspool to septic. And so when you decide you want to upgrade or I don't think it'll trigger for a renovation, but when you add another bedroom or tear down and rebuild, they're going to ask you to upgrade the system. Thank you.
So you're saying if you were to add a bedroom.
Right. Funny, you could have 10 bathrooms and they say, nope, that doesn't do it. It's because that doesn't add people, right? The bedrooms, right.
I get that.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, because I understand we have till 2050 to get it done, but we have to do a lot of planning.
Yeah.
It's a big expense.
But if you're in a process of changing something, it could happen sooner than later, right? You go in for a building permit to add a bedroom, you'll find that they're going to ask you to upgrade. But thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, we're here with this lane right here. Ms. Vandekar? Sure, go ahead.
This is the old Volcano Road contingent, right?
Okay.
So we have a very small road. It's not well maintained, and it has a dead end, and we have our driveway's right at the dead end. Besides the problem of the people coming in onto Old Volcano Road straight over that area where there's no barricade anymore, we have a problem with a lot of food vendors setting up down there, and there's absolutely no room for the traffic that comes.
Okay.
And it's created a huge problem for those of us who live on the road,
Yeah.
especially for me, I'm at the dead end.
Yeah.
And I'm asking whether it's possible, because we love food trucks,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of us. I love the food trucks, the food that's there.
Sure.
But we can't live there.
Yeah, yeah.
So is it possible?
Okay.
We have Cooper Center, which is underused during the week. Is it possible that we could open Cooper Center up for more of these food vendors?
Great question. Just like right now, there's a food
Yeah,
van.
because we're going to be having to complain if the
Right.
food vendors stay on
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Volcano
And
Road.
we don't want any more complaints.
We don't want to complain.
No, just kidding.
And we love the trucks, but they cannot stay.
Yeah, yeah. So good question. So, hey, so let me ask my team. So, food trucks, who they go through for is that you, Clayton, or yeah? Finance. Jeff. Okay. Go, Jeff. It's the Jeff show. No.
So, it sounds like they're operating on a road, right? That would fall under, they're not on a road.
They're not on the road?
Okay. Okay. But they're on private property. Okay.
Oh.
Right. So, right. Right.
Ah, gotcha.
There was some time ago a gentleman that was operating a food truck in that area, and he was very popular, and it got so popular we started receiving a number of complaints. We asked him the requirement, because the area is agriculture, they have to come in for a special permit and go before the Planning Commission for approval. He was on his way to do that, and I think he realized he was going to have a lot of opposition from the community. He ended up not doing it. It sounds like the same thing is happening here, so planning would need a complaint. Okay, so if how long ago?
I made a complaint last week because
Okay.
that food truck came back.
No problem. Yeah.
Nobody ever came and
Sure. I'll follow up on the complaint. If we just I'm sorry. Okay.
we said no, and we asked the new one to leave.
Okay.
But I got a call from the lawyer, and they think they can set up there.
Yeah. They cannot. They need a permit. So I'll talk to our inspector, make sure he takes care of that, inform them. As far as Cooper Center, just real quick. I need to look at the zoning here, but to get everything, legit, we'll see if there's an option to get them permitted here. That might be the best option for everyone.
True. Right, the community wants it, yeah.
Okay. We're looking to installing signs, no vending allowed here and no parking. Okay, got you. We'll look into it. Okay.
See, he's not on the computer for nothing. He's solving problems already. Okay, we're going back to you. Go ahead. Yes.
First, thanks, Mayor, to come here. Actually, this is my first town meeting. Actually, it feels great. Anyway, I have a question about the bus, the transportation, because I have a 14-year-old is going to Waikōloa High School because we have limited option for Volcano for good schools. And he's a very smart kid, he wants to better. So we have a geo transfer to Waikōloa High School. So we can't actually have ability. I know a lot of kids going to take the bus from Volcano to Waikōloa. And my daughter went to Waikōloa several years ago, but the bus was always late. and never on time. And when she got to school, it's always late because the traffic was so bad from Kea'au to Hilo. So
Was that a school bus or a county bus?
a county bus.
Oh, county bus was late.
School
No more school bus.
because it's the geographic.
Oh, yeah, because you gotta go, yeah.
They need to go to Kea'au High School.
Oh.
A lot of kids going to Waikōloa.
Yeah.
And so that bus was also dangerous. My daughter, right, and there's people doing drugs, and she was very worried.
Oh.
And so my question is whether the county can do something for the kids here, because I know a lot of kids going to Waikōloa High School.
Okay.
And whether we can do, like, make the bus on time, because they were waiting here, bus sometimes not on time, sometimes early, just don't have a time, and sometimes you miss it. And so.
Okay, so two questions. One, can the bus come on time?
Yeah.
And can you screen all the sketchy bus? I don't know. Something like that. I think that's the question.
Keep the kids safe. And other things, whether we can add a bus, come back, and because the after-school program, I think the latest bus is like a 4:55 to Waimea High School. A lot of them will stay later for the after-school program. They won't, they can't get the bus. So we can add an extra bus at 6 p.m., something like that. Those 3 questions.
Okay, I think I'll try to start at the top and work my way down on them. But thank you for your question. I really do appreciate that. So for buses being late, so a lot of our fleet is actually pretty old. Some of the buses also came from Oahu, and those were retired buses. And actually, we have 9 mechanics on our agency that keep those buses still in operation today. And they're pushing over 1 million miles per bus, but they're still in operation. So also with that, too, we acknowledge that it's an old fleet, and we're procuring buses right now. So right now, we have 8 inbound diesel buses right now, as well as 4 battery electric buses. And then also some more paratransit vehicles toward the end of the year as well. So that's 21 total vehicles that are going to be joining our agency by the end of end of this year. All right, so that's going to be that's one thing that's coming down the pipe right now.
You promise?
That's happening. Okay. I give you my word. Yes, Mayor.
Okay. That's
a new bus for Volcano, because that bus was great too, I remember back then.
I'm with you. And so that's one thing that we're doing also is reevaluating our master plan. The last revision of the master plan was in September of 2022. So we're looking at that revision because, with time, you always need to tweak things to make it better, right? So, and also with the DOE part that you mentioned about schools. So mass transit agency is federally funded for public transportation. We can get in trouble if we go and start using it as a school bus, or vice versa. If you see like a school bus pulling into the bus terminal and picking up just whoever, it kind of the same thing. So we're federally funded in 2 different pots. But what I can tell you though is one thing that we do is modifying routes so it's fairly treated for the entire community, but also sometimes works better for students to get to school on time. So also with me today is Jennifer Martin. She's in the back with me. She's a transit fleet and facility manager. We'd really like to talk story with you after this, if you wouldn't mind. Thank you.
Great answer. Hey, I love it. Okay, I'm going to go here, there, and there, and there, and we're going to end with Russell. Okay, go.
Okay, all right. So I'm Eleanor Dunn, and I'm with the Volcano Emergency Response Team. We use the Carlson Court down here at the end as our incident command center.
Okay.
It's also used for a lot of other things. We use it Sundays for our market. We get our groceries there on Sundays. It's used for craft fairs. It's used for 4th of July. It's used for the skate park, okay, and the basketball court. And it leaks like a sieve.
Right.
We've been promised for many years that the roof would get fixed. And the last time we were told that the surface of the skate park with the ramps got resurfaced, that the county would work on the roof to get that fixed. Well, administration changed, and I'm not sure if you're aware of all that, but this little problem of fixing the roof seems so insignificant compared to these major ones, and I'm really hoping that maybe you guys could use some discretionary funds and actually do it. Because when we do if we have an emergency and have to set up, we've got radio equipment, we've got tech equipment, we've got food service, and it's pouring down rain. I know because I've been through training sessions there that were near impossible.
Okay.
Can we get the roof fixed?
Can we get the roof fixed? Clayton, can we get the roof fixed?
Thank you for the question. I was just up at that Resilience Hub Summit at Volcano, right? And so we had that question come up to me after the meeting, actually. And again, we were just 5 months into the job, so thank you for bringing the awareness to us in regards to the roof there. We had our guys go up, take a look, even before we got on board. The report is our in-house guys cannot fix the roof themselves. The roof is kind of far gone, so they're thinking of what we had somebody do a quick assessment and a costing of the roof, because you need to get the costing first before you can actually go out and do a RFP for the job later on. The costing actually for the roof and the gutters is about $750,000 to change the whole thing. That's certain. I'm getting to there. So just having a conversation with some of the users. We had the conversation today. I had them with this gentleman, Mike. Forget Mike's last name, but anyway, he suggested maybe going up there with some Greco coating that he could possibly put onto the areas that are leaking. Might not take care of the whole roof in general. Might just be something that is a temporary fix, but it's something that we can consider. So I just told him that. I took his name and his number, and he was willing to work with us into having that patch done, so we can possibly look at, getting patchwork done here or there with the help of him and some volunteers. Maybe doing something like a Friends of the Park agreement with them. But definitely we'll take a look into it for sure.
And it's not just for emergency. I like that park. My family that uses skateboarding, basketball, pickleball, that's recreation. So that's a good one. Thank you for mentioning. I know I had Uncle last, but okay, yeah, here, go. How's it, good to see you.
I'm nervous, so I wrote it out.
Oh, don't be nervous.
I do have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
But anyway, so aloha, Mayor. Thank you for coming and bringing the team. My name is Jeffrey, and I'm a longtime resident of Volcano. I welcome the team, and I'm really glad you're holding these town halls across the island. It makes good sense, bro. I was wondering if you could clarify your position about the proposed lease renewal at Hoʻokō and the building of the TMT on Makaʻeo. I asked because I've heard you say on other occasions in an interview, I believe it was, that you would be in favor of these projects going forward if the county received money. Really? As you well know, both Hoʻokō and Makaʻeo contain significant ecological sites, significant cultural sites as well. This was stated over and over again, of course, by this testifiers at Hoʻokō recently. So, I don't view these two important matters as business transactions.
Same here.
Do you?
I'm Hawaiian, just like many Hawaiians here. Born and raised, my families go back generations. My Hawaiian side, over 1,500 years. The Portuguese side, 5 generations. So let me tell you first, you got 3 questions, but I could pick one. But so let's just start the 30-meter telescope. So I was a protector, still a protector. Okay, the mountain matters to me too. All right, I wasn't up there on the first telescope, the second, the third. I wasn't up there on the 4th, the 5th, the 6th. I wasn't up there on the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. My family was up there on the 13th, right? Much of my families was up there on the 13th. Okay, but I get Kupuna that was up there on number 1. He came to our office, Uncle Paul Nevis. Hey, I respect him. He was there from day 1. Telescope 2, telescope 3, right? Lanekila Maunga, he was up there as soon as he could walk. Okay, so, so I'm on authority right now. 11 of us get. Lanekila Maunga, Noi Wong, Wilson, Pomai Berderman, myself, so get Kanaka on that 11-member board. We're all voters. All right, so my vote is just 1 vote. But what I've been doing is, I'd like to know what is the community benefit, number 1. Number 2 is, why was people up there in the first place? So I was up there because I was concerned about the aquifer. Okay, so if the aquifer is compromised, I'm out. Right? I get family up there because of the cultural sites. They was up there because of the endangered species, the bird, the bug, the plant, the silver sod. Get endangered species, I get it. Get cultural sites, I get it. Right? Other people was up there because they're paying $1 a year. That's an insult, okay? Like, you like be up there, you pay more. Other people was up there because they made promises that they was going to decommission 5 or 6. They never decommissioned. So people was up there, hey, you like build TMT, you decommission. So I took all the reasons why people was up there and I came up with a list, set about like 12 conditions. Like, you like build that TMT, you decommission 6. Okay, you make sure that cultural sites and endangered species are protected. You make sure the aquifer's protected. You pay more than one. Like, somebody got to get something. This is where the money came in, right? Like, we got to get some kind of community benefit from that, right? So if there's any revenues, cannot just go to STEM. It should be diversified because STEM never just make that mountain, right? There's a lot of groups that should benefit from the revenues. That's where my money idea came in. That should go to Hawaiian Immersion Program, maybe. Maybe it can go to helping some of the Hawaiian homesteads, right? So like, maybe that light ordinance should be, because now there's a light ordinance. Like, so like there's so many conditions. So what I did is I took these conditions, I went to the 30-meter telescope board and I said, how you guys feel about these conditions? And they said, that's something we can work with. And there's a new TMT board. It's not they all got fired after 2019, okay? So there's a new board, they're much more engaging. And so what I'm saying is, hey, give them one chance. Because economically, people are not leaving Hawaii because of the high tide or because too hot or because too much rain. They're not leaving Hawaii because of the cultural sites, or because they're leaving Hawaii because their jobs cannot make ends meet. So we get an economic problem on this island. And I tired see my nieces and nephews living in Arizona or Las Vegas. And you know what? They cannot even enjoy that mountain anymore. So what's the sense of fighting for something we cannot even enjoy? So we got to figure out a way to find some economic benefit in everything we do now. So I put it on my business hat. Okay, so that's TMT. Again, I'm just one of many votes. The Puakoloa, I'm learning more about it. All I know is there's a huge community benefit for it, and you can tell our fire chief and our police chief would love to talk to you about. That's where they train. So you get the firefighters training up there, real life firefighter training. You get the police shooting range up there. If somebody ever get into a car accident from like mile marker, let's say 17 to 55, you know who the first responders? The Puakoloa guys, because they get on fire station there and they respond and they're saving lives. Our nieces, nephews, uncles, aunties' lives they're saving. Okay, they get one strong cultural component now. They identifying all the. I went up there because I was against them too. I was like, hey, what's up with this? No. The good thing about being mayor is I get to find out the truth on stuffs. Because now I ask all kinds of questions. I'm Portuguese. Okay, I can ask all the questions. So tell me what you're doing to protect other cultural sites. Where stay? How about the endangered species? I like to know what you're doing about the silver salt.
Did you find out why they're bringing water in and not taking water from underground because it may be polluted? Did you find out?
No, I never get there. But I'm telling you that I'm just as concerned as you about this beautiful island. So what I telling people is, hey, that renewing the lease, that's more like on where the barracks at. But with a live bombing, that's all federal. So that's kind of out of my control, I think. And then, I'm the mayor, so I don't really have say, but if people ask for my opinion, I'm not going to shy away. My mom always said, if you're not afraid to think it, don't be afraid to say it. So I say what's on my mind, get me in trouble sometimes. But that's how I am. So my thing is there's a lot of community benefit. I'm not sure about the military, like how important is it? The military guys tell me it's super important. So Bill and I we're going to talk to Ed Case. We're going to talk to Brian Schatz, Mazie Hirono, okay? Jill Tokuda. Like, show me the proof that is that important for our protection. And especially now, crazy times, so that's my take on Puakoloa. Thank you. Okay, I go here and there, and then, what, you like my last? Or? Wait, what, you gonna serve me again? No, okay. Okay, go.
So my name is Lakusha. I work with Action for Animals Hawaii. We're an animal control partner. We've been a partner for over 2 years. Last year we took in almost 400 animals from animal control, and they all went to good homes. We have 6 foster parents here in Volcano. So we do a lot. we've heard that you have a task force, or for one, I want to thank you for releasing the dogs back to the owners when you first came into office, because just reuniting families is really important. We heard you have a task force, but none of the partners are part of the task force. We do a lot of work for the county for almost no money whatsoever. So one, we'd like to be part of, maybe not a angry dog task force, but what we would like to be is preventing animals from coming into animal control to begin with. Because it's one of the highest euthanasia rates in the country. And so we would like to know how we can be a better part of that solution.
Thank you. And you know, we need you folks. So we went out to the dog park in Kea'au because we wanted to visit, right? We wanted to get a better sense because, I mean, so we took this animal control from Humane Society, and I don't know if that was the best idea. Like maybe because we're the only county. Yeah, because I don't think they wanted it because I don't think they was getting reimbursed enough. So maybe we should have looked at a better reimbursement, but because we went out, to be honest, I'm gonna speak from where I'm at right now, super hard. We went out to the facility, get so much dogs there. And you know, Bill and I, Bill's a rancher, right? I live on a ranch, so animals mean something to us, you know, and I felt sad. And that's just the dogs. We're not even talking about the cats yet. And the pigs on Hoʻokō is another issue. So we're talking about Makaʻeo and the goats. So yes, of course we'll include you guys. Yeah.
No way for anyone to adopt from our animal control. It's completely reliant on the partners, but the partners are not included in knowing what's going on. So what we would like to propose is that we meet with Matt and that group at least quarterly. Us, Aloha Hilo, Humane Society, we're the three main partners. And I tell you, every time Camille calls me, I find a place for that animal. We are all foster based, but we need the county to support us too, and we need to work with the county, not just be used by.
Well, first we got to get our act together. Our act is not together, and it's hard to be a partner with an entity that I feel is not together. So we got to fix our house. So then when you come to our house, looks good, but our house sucks right now. So we're working really hard on it, and then of course we want a partner. We do want a partner. But do you have anything to add to that?
Well, first of all, thank you very much. We know A4A is a huge resource for the community. You guys take a lot of animals from us every week, and not just here locally, but you send them off to the mainland, to Canada. It is a huge resource. We're very grateful for all of our rescue partners. As far as the task force, that's a great question for chemo, but we are trying to work more to decrease our euthanasia rates. Right now, we're at about 60 to 65% live release, which is an improvement over 80 to 85, we're at 80 to 85% right now. It used to be 60 to 65%. So it's getting better because we've had a lot of support from the rescue partners, but our department is still brand new. So right now we can't facilitate things like adoptions. We're so understaffed that we can't really allow the public in on a regular basis, but we're growing. We're hiring, we're filling positions, and things are changing. It's changed a lot since I started 8 years ago. It's gonna keep changing. And that might be something that does happen, is opening to the public. Can't speak to that right now because we're still a baby department, but we're getting there.
We would like to work with you. We've had one meeting with animal control in over 2 years where the partners, we all sat around the table. We would love to do more of that so that we can help you. We know that you don't have the facilities to do the types of things, and that we're more expert at that, but we want to work with the county. We don't want to just be used by the county.
We got you.
Yeah. So I'm happy to get your information. I know Camille has your information, but I'm happy to get it. Matt is not here today, but I'm happy to coordinate with him when he returns to see if that is something that can be arranged.
And that's why we have the last half hour, the last 10 minutes. Okay, wait. Okay, did you have a question? Okay, we're going to go there, and then we'll go end over here. Okay, go.
Mine is very, very fast.
Okay.
And it may not be super popular, but I have a major problem with all the speed humps. Like, slow down on the speed humps.
Oh, slow down. Hey, you're the first one. Everybody likes speed bumps. You're the first one that don't like speed bumps. Okay.
I get it on
Okay,
city
okay.
highways before and after school.
Yeah, yeah.
I get that, but all of a sudden it's on Hill, Ruby, and
Yeah.
Shade, and those are county roads. And it's
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
everybody.
Okay. Well, we'll take that. Well, this is how we come up with the speed bump. I think it's 70% of the community got to say yes first. I believe so, Neil? Yeah.
On the street.
So we on that street.
On that street.
70%.
Yes. Then once we get it ready, we show you guys the map, and if you guys want it in front of your house, then if not, we gotta adjust it.
So I live on Mahalinani, and I was just curious if that was
You
also.
give me information after. Okay, thank
yeah.
you.
Okay, good. So you had a question? No. Okay, Russell, and then we're going to end over here since we're in the front. Go ahead. Yeah.
Kind of a small request.
Okay.
You know, when it's about the county building. You guys are doing a great job with the county building. It's the best and cleanest public bathrooms in Hilo. so
I hope so.
No, please thank the custodian.
Okay, I will thank them.
They're really good.
Okay.
But also when you walk into the county building, from that main entrance, in the atrium, on the right, get one pohakua.
Yeah.
Kaheka. That's the name on the sign. The thing is, legal, not being respected. It originally came from Kawa.
Wow.
Yeah. So the county is now Kuleana at Kawa.
Oh, yeah.
So I would appreciate any consideration of taking that pohaku with the appropriate protocols.
Yes.
And take it back to Kawa.
Oh, that's a great suggestion. Yeah, I never noticed. Thank you for bringing that up.
Sure.
Appreciate that.
Yes, they did the same thing with that pohaku that went to the Smithsonian.
Oh.
You know, the Native American and Indigenous People Museum,
Yeah.
DC. They had one pohaku go from the national park up there, but it was only for 10 years. So when it was POW, you
took them
brought it back with all the protocols.
I like that. Anybody know about that pohaku you're talking about?
Right there.
It's right there in the front, right there. Okay.
Yeah, it's a salt pan. It's a salt pan, huh?
So we turn that to Kawa is a request. Okay,
And I think the Kau people would be totally thrilled. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Right on for being here. Go ahead. Question or statement?
Question.
Okay.
Well, first I got a statement.
Okay.
Mahalo, Mr. Alameda.
Yes.
And you're an amazing facilitator. You're an amazing person to be part of that transition. And you have an amazing team. I just wanted to know, did you open the envelope I served you last week?
Actually, I gave it to my managing director.
Perfect. Was it open?
You know, I handed it to corporation counsel.
Yeah, mahalo. Thank you. Hey, we got about 20 more minutes. I'm going to ask you guys if you guys can stay a little bit longer because we're in over time. But thank you so much. Please enjoy. Let's talk stories. You can, if you get on finance question about the budget, you get Diane. Any questions about our legal situation, you get Renee, housing, you get our fire chief, you get our sustainability, environment matters to Laura, matters more than anybody in here. Okay, you get our chief here for police. You guys get questions about that. Of course, you're probably tired here, Dara, but that's okay. You can still ask. You can still talk to Jeff. You get Merrick, you get our county council here, Bill, animal control, you got Neil, you got our environmental management, you get town manager, our civil defense, you get research and development, you get water guy, you get trans, you get parks, and then you get some extras right there. So, hey, thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the night. Aloha.